Good evening, everybody. How's you doing tonight? Welcome to Cryptid Junkies with Carlito and Tom. I just want to say, hey, glad you made it here tonight.
What's up,
And I just want
everybody?
to give a quick tribute to one of my childhood. Well, I would say childhood / late teen, mid 20s.
Yeah,
DMX rapper. He died. He died this morning. He had a heart
yeah,
attack, and he was just, I would say, like a mentor. I really liked his music. It had a lot of meaning in it. He always had prayer in it. He knew what he was doing. And I actually got to see him driving down the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey. I was doing about 100 miles an hour on my Beretta.
damn, that's cool.
He came up next to me in his black Porsche 911 Targa Turbo.
Damn, that's a
And
nice car.
he was just chilling with his black leather gloves on, and he's just looking at me. And I knew it was him because I've seen his videos, I've seen his movies. And I knew it was him. He had them black aviator glasses on, looking all smooth and GQ and shit. And he just kind of pulled up next. He pulled up next to me in his Porsche and kind of gave me like one of those "what's up" nods. And then he blasted past me, doing about 120, 140 miles an hour. And I was like, yeah, I just rolled up next to DMX.
Yeah, so, that sounds like DMX.
It will be, it's sad that he fought with demons a long time of his life.
Yeah,
and the demons got him, but he always knew that, Satan was out there to get you, and he publicized about it. He spoke about it in all the songs, and I just want to give a rest in peace to him, his family, and his friends, because he was great. Much love, DMX. Yeah. What you got to say about?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Yeah, man, it was a sad day for me yesterday, man, because I grew up listening to him alongside with other 80s, 90s, and early 2000 rap groups and stuff. So that's like my main preferred music. And yeah, man, he was like a how do you say, I was saying that word damn word just all day yesterday. He was not a mentor. He was not like somebody to look up to, you know what I mean? And because I mean he was a warrior, man, you know what I'm saying? Because he dealt with a lot of things, like even early, during his career and all that. And like hate, and people try to put him down, and the media try to put him down and all that, because of his past or whatever, drug addiction or whatever. But he got out of it. But the only thing is that later on, I finally got him again, because like I was saying yesterday, Tom, he prayed and preached about it, about life, and and how the devil tried to get you and all that. But the body's weak, man. So it's always there's always that chance that you can fall back into drugs and stuff like that. You got to be really, really, really strong-minded, and just try your best to get away from that. Like pretend it don't even exist, really. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it was a sad day for me, man.
Yes,
I grew up listening to him throughout the late 90s, early 2000s. And man, I used to bang the shit out of his music, man, on my cars and stuff. But yeah, man, he's a great guy. He's I love him, man. I love DMX, and he's never gonna be forgotten, man. That's the way I see it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why didn't anybody show him all this love that y'all showing him now, when he was alive? But he wasn't really like in the media that much, you know what I mean? Except the times he was going to the hospital and shit like that. So,
yeah.
But he knows we love him, and he's in a better place now. So love you, DMX, and I'll always remember you, man, and I'll always appreciate everything you did in the rap game. So enough about that. DMX, rest in peace. Love you, brother. And thank you everybody for us who supported my post about DMX, Tom, a couple other people, and I was actually talking to Marvin Allen late last night. I was kind of drunk, and I was in my feelings, and talking with him about DMX. My voice kind of gets a little woozy when I talk about it, but yeah, we had a really good heart-to-heart talk last night, me and Marvin Allen, man, about DMX and ourselves. So also I didn't get a chance to tell you, Tom, but I do want to have Marvin next week, bro. I talked to him about that. So
Marvin Allen and the
yes,
Doug
sir.
Pack. Awesome.
Yes, sir. He's gonna be on next week, man. So
It's on.
I already promised him. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So that's all I got for right now. Tom, unless you got anything else to add, or we could
That's
just,
it. I'm
go to.
going to introduce our guest, and then you can
Alrighty.
say, from there.
That'll
But
work.
tonight we have, the famous cryptopunkologist Kenney W. Irish. I'm glad that he's on our show tonight. I've talked to him for a little bit, got to know him a little bit. He's an author. He studies cryptids. His specialty is the Lake Champlain monster because he lives in Vermont. So that's like the area where he lives, and he knows where to check things out. He goes out in the areas and does some research. He does Bigfoot, little dog man, but the main thing is the Lake Champlain monster. That's his passion. So,
Yes.
I'd like to introduce him. But Carlito, you got anything else before we get him on?
No, not really, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. No, that you're good.
All right, Kenney, let's go, man.
Yeah.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Hello.
Hey, Kenney.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's an honor.
Yes, sir.
So, hey,
The
I
honor.
just wanted to let you guys know I actually live in New York now. I grew
Okay.
up in Vermont, but
Okay.
I actually live in New York now. So I'm about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes away from Lake Champlain now. So I live probably about 20 minutes south of Saratoga Springs, New York, but I grew up, born and raised in Vermont and by the lake, and just love the legend and lore of Champ.
Awesome. Well, if you want to give us a quick brief bio on yourself and kind of what got you started into this and what made you, gave you the passion to look into, research and Champ and other cryptids, you can start like that if you like. Tell the audience, how you got going.
Yeah, certainly. Like most young, boys, I had a wicked imagination when it came to monsters. I grew up on King Kong, the Incredible Hulk, and Godzilla. And then one day, somebody had mentioned to me about there being an actual, creature in Lake Champlain, and Lake Champlain wasn't far from my house, and that just kind of set me on a path towards, I think I was maybe 5 or 6 when that was mentioned to me, and the thought of having something that is like, I just related it automatically to Godzilla. The thought of having like Godzilla living in the lake near where I live just blew my mind as a kid. And I just anytime I was able to get near the lake, I was looking for Champ. I was just out there, just looking and there's this one bridge that goes over the lake. It goes from Colchester, Vermont, into the islands, into South Hero, Vermont, and it goes right across the lake. And I've gone over that hundreds of times, and but as a kid, every time we went over that actual portion of it, because you're literally like, the lake is just like right next to you. I just remember just even one day, even like praying to God, like, hey, I want to see Champ today. If you show me Champ, I'm okay with dying. And I was like 7 at that time. So, so I was just like, I meant business, but I didn't know what I was saying at the time. And so just growing up in the thought of this large serpentine Godzilla-like creature living in the lake, it just again just set me on a path in a direction of just total complete mystery and fascination on what it could actually be, and how it got there. And I obviously, as I got older, I looked into the history of Lake Champlain, the first sightings, when the sightings became pretty consistent, and kind of what's happened since then up until now, and looked into the different theories that have come out on what Champ could be. Looked at different photos, different video. I've had individuals show me sonar imaging which is phenomenal. I mean, especially with technology nowadays, the sonar images are so clear, so you can tell what's what and what isn't. So, but to tell you, you know, that's what got me going. That's where I started, and that's pretty much what brought me to where I am today. And you know, the group that I'm with, it's called the New York Bigfoot Society. So a lot of folks really see me as like a Bigfoot guy, but in reality, my heart and passion is always been with Champ.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the Bigfoot, we're in the dog, man. You know, just about every cryptid out there we're kind of into, and I know your passion is, like you said, is for the Champ. Have you ever seen the Champ personally, or have you seen like evidence or you know, tangible videos or documentation of what you would say, you know, that's it, you know? Have you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I personally have not had. I'm not one of those lucky individuals that have had any type of, actual 100%. Yes, this is what I've seen, but I've definitely seen again some sonar images that blew my mind. I've talked to definitely different folks who have had different they've had what they thought that they encountered to be a large serpentine creature. There's one friend that I had, her mom had stated that her and some of her friends were out in a boat in Lake Champlain, and they actually saw the head of the creature come up out of the water about 20 yards away from where they were. So yeah, I mean, there's been multiple encounters and eyewitnesses that I've spoken to, and just really there's been some that I've spoken to that just kind of sent me in the opposite direction, just from some of the detail and the things that the folks were saying. But there's been some that have been very, very credible, and individuals that I would take what they're telling me very serious, and definitely hold on to what they're saying in their encounters. But so I mean, definitely. Unfortunately, again, I'm not one of those lucky people that have actually had the actual putting my set of eyes on it. But time's going to come. The time's going to come, and I'm gonna be able to see it and be able to talk about it.
Absolutely, man. That's pretty awesome. Um, Based on what you've did, like what is in your, you said you've authored books, like what is your books based, like what are the topics and what are your, what are what you put into them?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, one of the passions I have is writing young readers chapter books for ages from like 5 to, let's say, 9. And so I put a couple of those out through some different publishers. Like I put one out back in 2014 called Kevin in the Upside Down Halloween, which is actually going to be rebranded because I had a falling out with that publisher, and luckily I still owned the majority of the rights to it, so I can actually go through and rebrand it. And in 2020, I think it was February 2020, I released Stanley Riker and the Bigfoot Runaround, which is just it's the same characters from Kevin in the Upside Down Halloween, and they pretty much there's a camp that they go to, and while they're at the camp, they're there for a weekend, and one of the camp counselors ends up telling them a story about how they're concerned about that the camp might actually be closed down because of certain Bigfoot sightings in the area. So they're in 3rd grade. They've got this incredible imagination, so they go on a little adventure to try to come up with a way and plan to catch the Bigfoot that they're concerned about, that they can close down their camp and save their camp. So and I've got a couple other manuscripts with all those same characters that I'm working on right now, and hopefully in the next year or two have a couple more of those come out. But my most recent publication, which released last month, March 9th, is American Cryptids in Pursuit of the Elusive Creatures. This is a rebranding of an original publication that I did, and it covers all 50 states. and it talks about the history of the actual state, Native American lore from the state, a couple what you would consider popular cryptids from that state, and it ends with a Bigfoot sighting that I was able to record from a witness from one of those states, and it covers all 50. So the book's been doing fantastic. Again, it released March 9th. It was a #1 bestseller on Amazon in its first couple of days. It's, as of this morning, it was sitting at #3 still over a month later.
Nice.
It's doing very, very well, and I appreciate all the support that I've received from different people that have bought the book and reached out to me and and encouraged me on it, and I've gotten great reviews on Amazon for it, so I've just been enjoying it because like I was saying, my passion is my original passion is Champ. Like I'm a Champ guy, but I love all legend and lore. I love it stated from like the Native American stories and how they brought it forth, because I really give them credit for what we know nowadays, because a lot of the names for these creatures that we love and explore and look into, it came, the names are, a lot of them came from the Native Americans, and so again, that's why I have them in the book as well. It's just phenomenal, the stories that they passed down and the legend and lore.
I got a question for you, Kenny.
Yeah.
All right, this is from our good friend, family, Marvin Allen. What's up, Marvin? Glad you're here tonight.
What up, Marvin?
Marvin Allen. But he wants to know, what do you think the creature is? He's talking about Champ.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that Champ is a plesiosaurus that somehow survived through like the the glacier.
Ice Age.
Yeah, because I mean, Lake Champlain's a freshwater lake. It's a 400 feet deep at its deepest, and about 100 miles long. And it used to actually be connected to the Atlantic Ocean. It used to be part of it, and then the glaciers came in, and then the ocean parted from the lake, and the glaciers melted, and now we've got this nice freshwater lake. So a lot of people believe that it's again of the plesiosaurus time frame, and that it's there's caverns underneath the ground, and but me personally, from individuals that I've spoken to, and very credible individuals, they've mentioned that that they've seen multiple humps in the water. And if you look at a plesiosaurus and the body type and in the design of that creature, if you will, it's got a long neck, but yet its back is oval, but that's it. So why would there be multiple humps? So plus also with a plesiosaurus, many witnesses have talked about how it comes up out of the water and it holds its head way up out of the water. From my understanding of plesiosaurus, it can't actually hold in reality, can't actually hold its neck way up like that and straight up. So to me, putting that different data in knowledge together, I think it's just an undiscovered some type of serpentine creature that lives in the water. And like I'd mentioned to Tom before, what I always say is that the whole earth is covered with water, and what we call countries are really islands, and that the water all connects somehow underneath, underground, and it would be, I think, irresponsible to think that there wouldn't be different passageways under the water, or excuse me, under the ground, that would connect to other bodies of water. And I understand, you've got salt water, with the oceans. Well, how would that connect? Wouldn't that pollute the freshwater lakes? Well, depending on, Earth's natural filtration, going through different ground surfaces and different different debris, it could, why couldn't it filtrate it? So I feel that, it's, under its deepest part, and a lot of people say that, there's connections and caverns underneath the ground. There's been some people who are in the field of, they're if you will, they're ecologically sound in their knowledge, have told me that they believe that, a couple 100 feet underground, yeah, there's absolutely, there's life under there. There's water under there. There's openings, and there are actual creatures living under there.
Hey Kenny, I got a question real quick. Do you think they are cave dwellers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like underwater cave dwellers, like even through bodies of water and water underneath the, the caves, and, do you think that they might, hide out in a certain, place underground through caves, stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Mhm.
Because the more that I look into it, I mean, there's individuals, that have gone, divers that have gone under the water, have gone into the deepest sections of, let's say, Lake Champlain. Like I said before, the deepest part is 400 feet deep. They didn't find any caverns, they didn't find any tunnel ways, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't there.
Mhm.
And many individuals will say that too, that, it's, what you're looking at underwater may look like one thing, but it could actually be something else. So I
Mhm.
absolutely believe that there's definitely, caverns in cave areas that these different types of creatures could absolutely live in. I mean,
Right.
I mean, when we look at the oceans, which, like I said earlier, I believe are connected to bodies of water,
Oh yeah.
in the country. I mean, every species that's in that ocean, I mean, we haven't discovered them all.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we know that. So, to have something that can go underground through, different passageways to different areas, and live under there, I absolutely believe and would back anybody that would say that would be true.
Right. Right. Okay. Hey, Kenny, let me ask you the most obvious question. I'm pretty sure everybody wants to know this, and I'm pretty sure you've been asked this plenty of times throughout the years of your research on Champ. Would you consider it to be the same type of creature that Loch Ness has, which is Nessie? I mean, do you consider them being somewhat related, or like habitat wise and lake wise?
Very, very well could be. I mean, a lot of the pictures and a lot of the descriptions are very similar, so it very well could be. I've even had
Hmm.
people say to me that they actually believe it's the same creature, which I don't necessarily believe that, because to say that there's just one, I don't know. It to me, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, they could be 100% right. Obviously,
Hmm.
there's no way of proving this, but
Right.
I definitely believe that there's, without a doubt, that there's some type of, it's a species, that
Right.
it's out there, it
Hmm.
reproduces, and they pop up all over the world.
Right. So, well, that, I guess I'm going to follow up with the question about being the plesiosaurus that everybody claims they are. Well, Nessie is. But you're saying that you don't think it's a plesiosaurus, right?
Yeah, the more that I've looked into that theory,
Hmm.
in the eyewitnesses, that I've talked to, the individuals, um, they actually, again, the big thing for me is like the body type, is which
Hmm.
what makes me say that it's not necessarily, because they always talk about it being serpentine and snake-like, and a
Hmm.
plesiosaurus,
It's
um,
not.
Not at all. It's got the long neck, and if they talked about maybe one oval type of hump coming up out of the water, then then it's very plausible that it could be. But the majority of the individuals I've spoken to have talked about multiple humps.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe that it wouldn't be that type of creature.
Right.
I'm not 100% on that. But again, when you look at the body structure of the plesiosaurus,
right,
it doesn't match up with what the eyewitnesses have actually claimed.
Yeah, so it's more serpentine-like, right? That's what you're saying. It's more like like the what are they called, Tom? The fishes, the orc fishes or oar fishes or so whatever. They're long, real long, look like dragons in the water.
Eels.
Eels or fishes. They're called oar fishes. This like a new fish that was discovered in Japan or somewhere over there. Yeah, but they're long and serpentinish like, and they got a lot. They got a lot of. They can make humps or whatever. But I see what you're saying now, Kenny. So so Champ would be considered more serpentine like, as to where Nessie is considered more plesiosaurus because it's got the long neck and it's got the maybe one or two humps on it. Yeah, I've seen the pictures. I got a couple questions also. One is from Marvin Allen. It says, do you think that it's enough food to sustain a family of these creatures in the lake?
I would say in Lake Champlain, I mean, there's, I think there's 90 different, if I remember right, there's 90 different types of, living creatures in the water between different fish. So I would have to say yes, especially, if I hold on to the theory that I have that they definitely, they're connected to other bodies of water and larger bodies of water. So I would absolutely have to say yes, that there would be, and there would have to be, without a doubt. It's just, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, there's also, I mean, there's larger fish in certain lakes too. Like when we talk about Lake Champlain, there's sturgeon in there, and those can grow up to be 6 feet long. And many people actually claim that they think that some of the Champ sightings is actually a sturgeon, which the only, if I'd had to say that I had any type of problem, I don't even want to say problem, but question about that. Again, something that's 6 feet long and that's probably as around as like the top of a baseball bat. I don't really see that putting anybody questioning that, being like, okay, well, this has to be Champ. Because I mean, Champ, a lot of people talk about Champ being 100 feet long, which, it's from my understanding, and the research I've done and the individuals I've talked about, and there's certain people that I would say, like, my passion is for Champ. I can't say I specialize in it because I know people that specialize in it, and they're, in my opinion, they're way more well-rounded and educated in it. They say, Champ is, 25 to 30 feet long at the most. So I just don't understand how somebody would think that something that was, at its most, at its largest, 6 feet long, would actually be considered a lake monster, if you will, and would actually, make people want to actually come forth and say, yeah, I saw Champ. To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right. Hey, there's another question. You want to get it, Tom?
Yeah. Al Santoriga, my Goomba, he's got two questions. First question, he wanted to know, let's see, where are we scrolling? Why would you think that a plesiosaur couldn't hold its head up out of the water? Would that be based on the anatomy of what they described with the bones that they found, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've looked into, because I originally, that's the first thing that, when I kind of got into, like, looking into Champ and studying it, I'd say maybe in my teens, because I did like a project on it, and that was one of the first things that I went right to, plesiosaurus, because to me it made sense. And then when I started looking at different, the way it's built and how it's actually portrayed, and again, the bone structure. I've been led to believe that they can lift their head up, but not to the degree that we see when folks describe Champ. And so that's kind of where I've gone on. And again, I've talked to many people that Champ is what they do, 100% what they do. And they've come up with the same conclusion. They've looked into plesiosaurus way further than I have, and from what they've told me and what they brought forth is that it just can't hold its head up like that. That it's actually not, like, when you look at it, it's in a sense, like the pictures of it, it's based off of it being pretty much just kind of underwater, and that its head kind of goes up and kind of tilts up. But it doesn't come straight up like most eyewitnesses have claimed. So that's why I'm not, I guess, if you will, on the plesiosaurus bus.
So you're basically you're describing like the curvature of the neck, how it kind of curvature, like what they're seeing, like how the Nessie description is, but you're saying it's different than that. So the plesiosaur can't do that.
It kind of comes off of the body and kind of comes up, kind of like it curves it when it comes off of the body. Like if you look at any picture or diagram of how the body is said to have existed, it looks like it comes down, like it comes off the body, goes down, and then comes up at like a long rounded angle. So it couldn't necessarily come all the way around and then just come straight up. Again, if you look at like the structure and how it's considered, from the individuals that have, I guess that recreate the image of what it would look like from fossils that they find. It just, to me, it's just, it's not really plausible. And a lot of the folks, again, who I've talked to, like, they're the ones that kind of took me off the plesiosaurus, again, the bus, if you will, and brought me into the direction of it being more of a serpentine type of snake-like creature.
Okay, good. And one more question from Al. He said, have you ever went down underwater and actually looked for the creature?
I personally have not. Now here's the thing with that. When I go in the water, I go up to my waist, and then if something touches my leg, I run out of that water. So I will be in a boat, I will be in a raft, I will be in whatever you want me to be on. But I can swim to save my life. But me personally, like, I will go out with divers, but I will not go and do that diving. I don't know. There's, I guess, the thought of, even though I know that, I wouldn't drown, I guess the thought of it is what keeps me in the boat. I wish I had a macho answer for that and a tough guy answer, but I got nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
It's all good, man. I know the thing. Like when we go out to the ocean every year, we go to the Topsail Beach, and whenever I feel something brush up against my leg, it's not really. I don't run out of the water quicker than you see a bat out of hell, but it kind of shakes me up. I'm like, what the hell was that? So I know what you're talking about, but it's usually just a fish. As long as I don't see a big fin sticking out of the water and jaws coming my way, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly, and that's the other thing. I've seen Jaws. I've seen the movies. I know, and I know that there aren't great white sharks in freshwater lakes, and there aren't any in Lake Champlain. But here's the thing too. I'm about 90% believe in Champ. So if I'm thinking there's this large serpentine creature down there, I also don't want to be in a position where I do see it, but I don't live to tell somebody because I get eaten. And again, and that's just my I guess my mental issue that I have when it comes down to it. There are better people that are out there that can do that and get you better results than me, because the whole time I'm down there, I'm going to be thinking, I'm gonna be thinking, okay, is this it? And
Well,
is
funny,
this it?
funny
Go
thing
ahead.
you said that about sharks and fresh water, because back in the 1930s in New Jersey, in my hometown of Matawan, a shark came through the bay and came through the swamps
Yes.
and actually got into the fresh waters and killed a young boy named Lenny back in the 1930s. It was Lake Matawan or Lake Lefferts. It's one of those lakes. But that's pretty much what sparked the whole Jaws story, of a shark killing a person, a human. And I'm pretty sure what they did was they went out, they took all the boats out in that area, in the Bayshore, New Jersey area, and they hunted sharks for about a week, and they killed probably, hundreds of bull sharks, some great whites, some blues, and they got their revenge. But that really happened in real life. A shark actually killed a human being in fresh water. So
I've heard of that.
That's right.
I've heard of that.
Yes,
Actually,
right.
I've heard of bull sharks are the ones that
bull sharks, rivers.
mostly swim up rivers and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. That's right.
That's
I
crazy.
forgot all about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Tom. I forgot all about that.
Hey,
more of a reason why I'm gonna stay in the boat.
Hey, Kenny and Tom, what do y'all think about that video where I think it's in Alaska somewhere, it's a river, and it's this serpentine looking thing going like this with like logs or grass over it, whatever, but it looks like it's swimming like a serpent, man. I mean, like a big serpent. What do y'all think of that, man? Have y'all seen that video?
I haven't. No.
Is there ice in the video, or is there snow on the ground or something?
Yeah. There's ice in the river. Yeah,
it could be something that was enlarged. It could be some kind of serpent monster, but
I think so, because the way it swims.
Antonio has a question for you, Kenny. He wants to know: do you think Nessie is still alive, as no sightings have been, recorded recently?
I think the original Nessie may not necessarily be alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that there's a family line, and like I said earlier, that they, somehow reproduce. So I wouldn't necessarily think that, the original Nessie could be alive, but I would believe that there would definitely be a bloodline and family line that still exists.
Yeah, possibly. Marvin's got a question. You want to go that, Carlito?
I don't see it.
Okay, Marvin wants to know: do you think that more people have seen these creatures but are afraid to come forward, Kenny?
I would say yes, but in regards to individuals coming forth nowadays, I would say nowadays, if people see and witness some type of creature, that they're going to come forward nowadays. And the reason I say that is my theory on that is there were years back where it wasn't cool to come forth and talk about something that you saw that people think didn't exist. But since a lot of the TV shows that have come out in regards to cryptids, lake monsters, and different phenomenon, I believe now, I mean, if somebody sees something, they're going to be less concerned about coming forth and seem crazy. To be honest with you, what I've noticed in the past maybe 10 years is that it's actually kind of cool to come out now and say that you've seen a cryptid. So I think that's why, a lot of folks are coming out now, and there's so many encounters that people are talking about. You still have those folks, that don't necessarily want their name mentioned. But, again, with the fact that it's cool now, there was a time where, if you talked about it, you were seen as a total complete nut job. And you were crazy. You were just a wacko. But now, again, since a lot of these shows have come out and it's become mainstream, it's just like with Sasquatch. You for the longest time, a lot of the groups and everything, it was all underground. It was just groups communicated with groups. And the show Finding Bigfoot came out. I mean, I love the show, regardless, of what everybody has their opinion. I love the show, but you know what? The show Finding Bigfoot made Bigfoot cool. It really did. And it's just like the show Ghost Hunters. When that show first came out, I mean, that took something that a lot of people did, behind closed doors and didn't necessarily talk about publicly. And it made it cool. And then all of a sudden now everybody's a paranormal investigator. It just, a lot of these shows made a lot of these subjects mainstream. And as far as, I mean, you look at like Sasquatch, I mean, that's like it's marketing gold now. I mean, everybody's, doing, I mean, you've got, Jack Lynch, you've got the Sasquatch pizza. I mean, you've got all this stuff. So, I really think now when somebody sees something, they're going to come forth now because again, it's cool to say that you saw something, and people aren't going to laugh at you like they used to.
Right. You know what? It's funny you say that about the pizza, because I remember back in 1993, I used to work at a Pizza Hut, and they had they came out with Bigfoot pizza. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a big old pizza, maybe 24 inches long by, I don't know, about 12 or something like that. You remember that, Tom? And it said Bigfoot pizza. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, you're right. There's a lot that has been developed on account of those shows. Yeah, you're sure right, Kenny. You are, man. There's a question. There's a question from Al. Damn it, I just lost it. Okay, here it is. It says, regarding sonar, aren't there images just bleeps on the screen? So what makes him think that he's seen on sonar was Champ? Wow, that was a tough question to ask.
Yeah, no, I mean, sonar technology has come a long way, and it's to a point now where I guess this is the best example I could put it to. A lot of sonar images kind of look like X-rays, I guess, in a sense, and there's certain things that you can tell what's what and what isn't. And so I've had sonar images shown to me, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. And then I've had other images that have been shown to me where you could see something long and serpentine like. And am I saying that is 100% Champ? Absolutely not. But I could definitely say without a doubt that, some of the images that I've seen compared to others that I've seen, there is a difference. There's somewhere, the sonar image, you can actually see, you could see rocks, you could see debris that's actually down at the bottom of the lake. And then there's others where it's just, everything's just kind of combobbled all together. So I would say based off of, again, technology, and some of the ones that I've seen compared to other ones, there's some that you can look at and just be like, okay, there's nothing there. But there's other ones where you're seeing an image of something that just doesn't make sense. Like you can't really put it together and say, okay, well, this is what this is. You walk away questioning it. And that's, in my opinion, good evidence, if you will. It's not evidence as in this is 100% Champ, but it's good evidence. I can't deny it either at the same time. I can't say, okay, this is, because I can't explain it, it means it's not Champ. So as far as I'm concerned, if I can't explain it and I walk away with questions and it's a good enough image, I gotta believe that it's something other than necessarily a log. I mean, because, sometimes, like the logs, like if you look at it on certain sonar images, depending on which sonar type you're using, like you could see sticks, you could see different things coming off of it. But then when you've got something that's just there, that is kind of at an angle, and it's not a rough angle, it looks a little bit smoother. It really makes me question what I'm looking at and what it could actually be.
Good point. That's a good point.
Hey, Kenny, there's I have a small I guess doubt, you could say. As far as you know how Nessie, they have various images or pictures of it, either with the neck, that famous one with the neck outside the water, and I've seen a couple that are underwater, where you can actually see his body, his belly, his flippers, his long neck. You can actually see that on Nessie. Now, are they real? I don't know, but they're there. They're there for people to see. Now that's what I was going to ask you about Champ. Is there any pictures, either over water or underwater, of Champ
Well,
that you know?
yeah. There's the famous um, Sandra Mancy photo that was taken July 5th, 1977, and a lot of people relate and put that picture in the same category as like the Patterson Gimlin film, where nobody's been able to actually debunk it.
Mm-hmm.
There are theories of what it could be. It was a log that was turned at an angle, and part of the log, had like a long branch coming off of it, and that's what it was. So there's been different folks that have said, okay, well, they think that that's what this is, or that's what that is, and that these serpentine creatures are just floating logs, and that's why some people call them like the Loch Ness monster. But that's one photo. If you look up, it's definitely an intriguing photo. And prior to that, I don't know that the Mancy family had any encounters or even talked about Champ prior to that. Nothing that I could really ever come across. So again, that's one real popular photo that if you look up, again, it's just to a lot of fans of Champ, it's the gold standard, like the Patterson Gimlin footage is to a lot of Bigfooters.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. We got a question from Marvin Allen. He wants to know, where do you think these creatures live at, since they are hard to spot?
Yeah, I definitely believe that they live probably like within the earth, like
underground caverns.
Yes, yeah. It would have to be, because if you think about it, there's different lakes out there that claim of different lake monsters, like the Alkine Lake monster. It's a small lake, you should be able to find it. So I would have to believe that with so many boats on the lakes, especially during the summer, so many people out there, you would have more sightings if they were staying in that actual body of water for long periods of time. So I again, I believe that there's definitely waterways that connect, and then they go down, and why they feel they need to come up and be seen now and then. Hey, I don't know, but it's so I believe that's probably where they spend the majority of their time. And again, as far as Champ, I've had many people again tell me that, and you always have the people that tell you they have multiple sightings, and that usually always throws me off a little bit, how nobody else has multiple sightings, but where they feel it wasn't the same creature, that it was the same type, but it was not the same one. And that there's and it's funny, because somebody said to me one time, they're like, so is Champ a boy or is Champ a girl? And I actually, it's funny because I never thought about it, because I grew up and Champ had always been portrayed as a guy, but obviously there has to be, to continue to exist, there has to be obviously both male and female the serpentine lovers that are producing little Champs, little Nessies.
They actually made a movie about Champ, didn't they? I remember it was this little boy that he raises him or something like that. I don't know if it was Disney, but I remember there was a movie back in the maybe early 2000s or something like that. I don't know if y'all ever heard of
I
that.
think that was more like a Loch Ness monster movie. I know what you're talking
Was it?
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little boy plays in it.
Alfred Santoriga's got a question. Goomba. He wants to know: are there any aerial images of Champ from a helicopter or float plane?
The only image that I saw was from a video camera. Well, actually, I don't think it was a video camera, or it could have been, and it could have been it was a still image. It was in Champlain, New York. There's a bridge that connects from Vermont to New York, and it hasn't been confirmed that it was Champ, but I guess it. Again, I'd have to read up on it again. It was a while ago. They built a new bridge. They blew the bridge up that was there, and they built a new bridge. And I don't know why. If it's a camera that they have up consistently, I could definitely look into that and get that answer. But and it was near where the bridge was, and they showed an image of something that actually came to the surface of the water and then went back down.
Oh, wow.
One of my good friends is a Champ enthusiast and researcher, and she actually wrote the foreword for my book American Cryptids. Her name's Katie. She knows she's one of my go-to people when I have questions in regard to Champ. She actually worked with the town of Port Henry to come up with a law to protect Champ in that area. So they consider her to be the only full-time Champ researcher, female Champ researcher in the world. So
wow.
She does a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and it was an honor to have her write the foreword for my book. And again, with her her expertise in it, she's out every day. It's during the summer. She's out. She's been on a lot of different TV shows, and so she's definitely a go-to in regard to questions regarding the Lake Champlain monster. And I try to look to people like that, to give me direction and give me ideas, because I'm also the type of person where I don't want to get stuck on my own theory. I want to hear theories, and I want to talk to people who can help make me smarter, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many?
Hey, I got a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How many?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Hey, I got a question from real quick from Tracy. Says, do you think Champ is a reptile or a fish?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you think Champ is a reptile or a fish?
I've always gone on the reptile theory, because a lot of sightings, and again, some of the sonar images I've seen, it's been more snake-like, if you will. Again, obviously, there are certain fish that can resemble that type of structure, but I've always seen it very snake-like, so I definitely say reptile.
Okay. Hey, I got another question from David from Texas. He said what the size was, and somebody else commented. I think you said 6, and somebody else commented after that. Well, if it's 6, it doesn't sound too big. If it's only 6 foot.
Yeah, no. When I was referring to 6 foot, I wasn't talking about channel. I was talking about the sturgeon and Lake Champlain. Those get up to 6 feet, and so the theory that when people are saying that they've witnessed or had an encounter with Champ, that it's a sturgeon, to me that doesn't make any sense, because if you see something 6 feet in the water, it's 6 feet long. You're gonna be like, wow, that's big, but I don't.
Not monster like.
Yeah. So, but as far a lot of the leading professionals when it comes to Champ, and with a lot of the eyewitnesses, they state anywhere between 25 to 30 feet long. Again, there's folks that have said, oh, it's 100 feet long, 200 feet long.
Wow.
Nothing of the kind. It's definitely 20. Everything's been 25 to 30 feet long. That's been incredible.
Okay. Cool. You got anything, Tom?
Yeah. Goomba's got one more question. Al wants to know, how many eyewitnesses have you interviewed personally, Kenny?
I would probably say it's funny when that question comes up, because like I think back to years like in my teens when I loved Champ. I would talk with people about it, but yet never considered it an interview. It was just more of like talking with people that had sightings. So in regards to Champ, I wouldn't necessarily say I've interviewed. I've had conversations with folks about what they've seen. So I would probably say, um, over the years, I probably had, 50 or 60 conversations in regards to, individuals who have claimed to have witnessed Champ, or they knew somebody that had claimed to have witnessed Champ. So, I've definitely had a lot of conversations, and listened to encounters. And again, some of them were firsthand encounters, some of them were secondhand. But it definitely have been more conversations than any type of like interview.
Okay. We got one last question, because I think we're gonna wrap it up after this. This is from Marvin Allen, and he wants to know how many do you think are out there in Lake Champlain?
Oh, I would definitely say that there's probably there has to be at least a few. And again, not necessarily all in the lake all at the same time. Because I've never heard of multiple Champ sightings in regard to more than one being seen at the same time. So, I again, why they would need to come up to the surface for 10 seconds, I have no clue. Because obviously, if it was an issue with needing air, I think we would probably have a lot more sightings. But I would have to say that there's probably multiple different creatures lurking around in that lake. It just depends on when they actually decide to show themselves.
Okay.
Hey, I got a last question from B Moss. She wants to know if are they in the oceans too, like not just in the lakes but in the oceans.
I believe 100% that's where they actually come from. I believe that they actually come from the oceans. And like I had stated earlier in the show, I always say that the whole world is covered with water and what we call countries, or just islands floating on the top. So I definitely believe that they, it's all connected. I mean, again, when you look at Lake Champlain, it used to be part of the Atlantic Ocean. So there has to still be passageways. So without a doubt, absolutely, that they're out in the ocean, and again, I believe that's where they actually come from, and then show up in these fresh bodies of water.
Right. Hey, I wanted to ask you just one last question. Do you know the difference on the deepest part of? Well, you said 400 there in Lake Champlain. I'm talking about the one in Nessie in Loch Ness. Do you know how deep that one is? The deepest? I think I remember 700. I think I remember.
That could be. My research on Nessie hasn't been as, I guess, as in depth as Lake Champlain and Champ. So, but it very well could be. I mean, I've 700 feet. I don't see that to be unreasonable. Maybe it could. I mean, I'd have to look at definitely the structure of Loch Ness and
right. And the reason I'm saying that is because I looked into Nessie a whole lot, even ever since I was young, when they used to come out on what was that one show?
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that was our YouTube back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
100%. I am a huge Unsolved Mysteries fan. I mean, I used to watch that show every week, and it's funny because
I still watch it on Hulu and Pluto TV also.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's like a few weeks back, there's a podcast that the group that I'm with, the New York Bigfoot Society, does, and I had Todd Ness on it, and I'm so envious of him because I ended up buying a DVD set of Legend and Lore of Unsolved Mysteries, and while I was watching it, I was watching the Bigfoot edition, and it's with Robert Stack. In my opinion, Unsolved Mysteries, not Unsolved Mysteries. Robert Stack is on there.
Robert Stack, yes.
And Todd was in the Bigfoot episode when Robert Stack was the host.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh man, so I was so envious. But yeah, Unsolved Mysteries, that was
the shit back in the day.
Oh my God. I mean, that music comes on.
Yeah.
That Robert Stack walks out, all dressed in black and starts talking.
You see the fog in the background. You see the fog.
And his voice was perfect, bro. His voice was perfect for that show, man.
Oh my God. It just
his voice creeped you out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It was just awesome, and it's I just remember, I know you guys remember this. How exciting was it when one part of the show would end and then all of a sudden the screen would pop up and it would say update.
Yes.
It's like you were like, oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, Al looked it up real quick and he said, he confirmed 745 feet Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, that's the deepest.
That is deep. That is deep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, man. I don't know how it is compared to the Mariana Trench, but yeah, that's deep.
Well, thanks for looking that up, Al. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Al. Appreciate you, brother. Well, all right. I think that'll wrap it up, Tom, unless you got anything else to add, buddy.
You got any final words for us, Kenny? I really thank you for coming on our show tonight and giving us your knowledge and telling us about your experiences and what you do. Do you got any last words for us, Kenny?
Thank you, Kenny. Very, very enjoyable, man.
Yeah, thank you for.
Your voice is great, by the way, man. I wish I could snatch that from you, brother. You got a great radio voice, man. Wow. When I first heard you, you're like, God, dog.
Yeah. I'm no Robert Stack, but I try.
Yeah, no, but you got a great voice, man. Got to give you that, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I guess just my final words are just, stay safe when you're out there looking. Make sure people know where you're going. Especially if you're going out in the woods and researching cryptids and investigating. Make sure people know where you are. Make sure you go out with people that know how to survive in the woods if something were to happen. And also very important. Let's be kind to each other in this subject. Let's love each other. A lot of different theories, and there's a lot of people that are really nasty to other people. Let's just kind. You know what? Let's be kind. Let's be friends. And you know what? Nobody's above criticism, but this is what I always say to that. Why do you have to?
Exactly.
Just
we all got to be in this together, and I hate when people are bullying others around. And my friends get bullied around, just come to me and I'll take care of you, because we look out for each other. We're family, and if I find out someone bullies my friends, I feel sorry for that person.
Yeah, we don't yeah, we don't play that shit. So they better stop. Like really, really, really stop.
Yes.
Because it is gonna get ugly. So hey, I was gonna say, man, thanks everybody for coming, and thank you for those last words, Kenny. I think this was a great show, man. Great show. Very enjoyable, very, clear. All the questions were answered. I think it was an awesome show, man.
Thank you. Again, it's always an honor to come on and be around, and talk with fantastic folks like you. So anytime, reach out to me.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, what you got? Last words?
Just want to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Doug Pack. And I'm looking forward to next week having Marvin on. Also, we're going to be on Thursday night. We're going to be on Manimal Research on their YouTube, I believe. So we might download that to our YouTube channel as a first show if we can get that going, so we can get a channel, get something uploaded on it for everybody to watch. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be Thursday night on Manimal Research, I believe at 8 or 9 o'clock Central, or I'm sorry, Eastern. So we're going to be on their show. They're going to be interviewing us on their show, Manimal Research. So if everyone wants to go out there, check it out.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Tom. Yes, guys, I do want to let y'all know that we are working on the YouTube channel, and we're in the works right now. Chris is pretty much guiding us through the platform that we're going to use to do the videos to pre-record the videos for our YouTube channel. And he's given us, working with us right now on getting everything brushed up and get it ready to go, so me and Tom can start making videos and uploading them. They're not gonna be live streams, because we can't do that until we have 1,000 members on I believe subscribers. So they're gonna be pre-recorded, but we can always go live on Facebook, right, Tom? So I mean,
exactly.
That's not a problem.
You want to give them the YouTube name real quick so they can subscribe if anyone's interested?
Yes, it's Cryptid and Paranormal Kingdom with Carlito and Tom, just the way it sounds. Yes, and I think it's the only one with that name. So yeah, you'll see it. It's got two UFOs in the top. It's got an old creepy house in the background, and it's got a Bigfoot and a dog man in the front of the house. So there's no missing on that. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up, Tom.
Yes, sir.
That's it, man. And we'll see you guys. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
Thank you,
Felipe
Kenny.
Mendoza. Thank you, man. The Doug Pack. You already named them, Tom.
Everybody in the Doug Pack. Moss, Diana, Eric Ogle, Antonio. Everybody.
Everybody. And Diana Marie.
Yep.
Also, shout out to her. She joined in. It's the first
Lori,
time I've seen her.
My wife was in the chat too. So
that's right. Yes, Lori was in there. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. That's good,
she's
man.
Getting into the cryptids, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brother. Yes,
Can't
sir.
forget the Goomba. Can't forget the Goomba, the Godfather.
Oh yeah, Big Al, of course, man. Yes, sir. And if we forgot anybody, we're sorry, but
we're sorry. We forgot you.
Yeah, y'all know we love y'all. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see y'all next week, or if we do a video on YouTube, we'll let y'all know. Okay, on the Facebook group. And with this, we are out.
Peace, everyone.
R.I.P. DMX. Love you, man.
DMX.
All right, everybody. Later on, Tommy.
Later.